everyone.
Good morning.
Welcome everyone for today's training section. And before I go further, I would like you to introduce yourself. Take it easy because this is our inter-companies training. Some of you know each other very well already. But maybe shall I start from Asan, then follow one round. Okay, Asan?
Hi, I am Bishan. I'm coming from audit department.
Okay, welcome Asan.
Hi, I'm Miss Guan from HR department.
Okay.
Hi everyone, I'm Stanley from audit department.
Hi, I'm Brian from tax department.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Junmin from audit department.
Welcome, Jimmy.
Hi, I'm Isin from audit department.
Welcome, Isin.
Hi everyone, I'm Dime from account department.
Welcome, Jimmy.
Hello, I'm Maggie. I'm from account department also.
Okay, welcome. All right, so now is my turn to introduce myself. I am Melissa Yi. You can call me Melissa. And I have just got my certified trainer's certificate. And I am the approved auditors and also the licensed tax agent. So I am the member of MIA, CTIMS and ACCA. So in this line, we are mainly deal with SME. So I have actually accumulated more than 30 years of experience to deal with SME. So from this, I have learned out how to simplify the most complex issue into a more understandable methods for you to, or for us to learn out together. So I hope this one I can use it in today's training. All right, so without I go further, I think many of you had heard about e-invoice. So anyone had never heard of e-invoice? You raise up your hand. So if no, meaning this is a very common term for us already. Okay, let me see. E-invoice. Okay, this is basically break up into two words. E is for electronic, right? Invoice is the invoice, the one of the documents for the record of sales transaction. It happens between a supplier and a buyer. All right. So is that all? Is that what we are going to learn today? I don't know. I pause it here so that after the end of the section, you will know more. All right. And think out of the box. All right. We don't look at, the e-invoice is the regulatory things, you know, what you have learned as per the Income Tax Act and law and so on and so forth. That is very technical. Later, we are going to cover slide by slide. But now, you just think freely, okay? Open up yourself and then make it more lively and funny, okay? Can anyone tell me what is e-invoice in your mind? And if the e-invoice can talk, if this copy of e-invoice, they can talk to you, you know, something that they can talk. What do you think this e-invoice will talk to you? What are they going to tell you now? Nothing to do with today's the lesson. Just want you to relax yourself. Okay, what you think the e-invoice will talk to you? Okay, Asan.
Eco-friendly.
Eco-friendly. Hey, Asan, I am eco-friendly. Okay. Okay. Who else want to try? Yeah.
Simplifies the process of the billing. Everybody can know.
Okay, in e-invoice telling you the method, how they tell you?
Hey, I'm soft copy.
Yeah, you are doing great. Okay, who else want to try? Okay, that's it. Or maybe they will tell, hey Maggie, you have to retire already. You are no more, you know, usable for this eco-friendly work.
Maybe.
Okay, and if you can add features into it, okay, what you want to add and why? Money. The money dripping sound. When you open up the invoice, the money tick, 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 tick. Okay, the money coming in. Someone is paying. What else? Stanley, you want to add?
You have a supply?
Supply? I thought when you open up, happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you. Okay. Okay, you have anything out of the box? Congratulations. Okay, anyhow, whether you like it or not, this is actually the e-invoice. All right, and then why is our government wanted to implement this e-invoice? Have you think of it? All right, let me share with you this newspaper. This actually last year paper when they have announced the budget 2024. The government, I read the government has taken the initiative to create the tax identification number. Nowadays we call it TIN. TIN number is actually your income tax reference number. The tax identification number and e-invoice is this e-invoice, all right? To overcome revenue leakage and to reduce the size of the shadow economy, Deputy Minister of Finance Dato Sri Ahmad Maslan say the two methods, which are the two? The income tax reference number and also the e-invoice. These two methods are to replace the GST. Okay, he said the implementation of e-invoice is a new mechanism to improve the efficiency of the country tax administration and in turn enhance tax compliances. Okay, you see this is the purpose of the government, that why they want to introduce this e-invoice. It's actually together with the TIN. Okay, Brian, you are from tax department. TIN number in the budget 2024, they are saying they will first assign to you when you have achieved what age? 18 years old. So when you have passed your birthday or 18 years old, this is automatically assigned to whoever, anybody. So with this TIN number and we also launching of this e-invoice, implementation of e-invoice, government is trying to reduce the shadow economy of Malaysia. You know what is shadow economy? Anyone can quote some example of shadow economy? Shadow economy is basically some economy activities that carry out in Malaysia that are not registered. So meaning someone call it underground economy or black economy. So those underground black economy is very hard to catch lah. But anyway, shadow is maybe lighter. Those lighter one will be something like they are commission earner. So they have received commission but they never declare. Okay? And this morning have you makan your nasi lemak on the road stall? Those are not declaring. There are many activities they had never declared their income. The freelancer, you know, maybe the part-timer, the YouTuber. So all these are shadow economy. In the history, Malaysia in 2000 to 2009, our shadow economy is ranking about the 60 over 100 over countries. So the shadow economy comprises about 30% of our Malaysia GDP. So 30% is a lot, you know, of our Malaysia GDP. And this one, if after implementation of GST, it has reduced from 30% to 20%. So it has reduced a lot. But remember, GST, after they have implemented 2 years, then no more already because there's a change of government, right? So when this GST has been taken out, so there is nothing to minimize the shadow economy. So that is why e-invoice kicks in. Okay, e-invoice is not a new tax, but is a regulatory mechanism that enforce you guys to compliance. They want you to report your transaction at a very real-time basis, so that this shadow economy can be reduced or can be minimized. So you think Malaysia shadow economy, is it very worse? Not yet. Consider good because GST has actually helped a lot already. But with 20%, it's actually loosen out our GDP about 300 over billions, you know. So say, for example, 300 over billion, if you can tax about 20%, so it's close to 60, 70 billions loss of the government revenue. So that's why this is the urgency of the government, why they want to put in e-invoice. Okay, you clear? So you know the objective of the government. So they just want to ours to comply, and they want us to be transparent. So this is the time that you have to prepare. It must be a change. All right? So now, beside that, of course there are other benefits of the e-invoice. So what are the benefits? Okay, the benefit will be online digitalization, just like the E says, electronic so meaning it's online Then after that, because of online, then you have the efficiency. Okay, the next to it is actually efficiency. Then you can do it very promptly and timely. And also, improve your accuracy and compliances. The down one, improve accuracy and compliances. Because if there's any non-accurate or non-compliance, you'll be fine. So you will make sure it is okay and it is accepted, then only you can submit. All right, and then it's a cost saving, and also this is because of legal compliance. I go one round already, and then finally is the security. Security means you will not lose your documents. You know, sometimes when I say, hey, now it's a tax audit, you have to produce 3 years back the record. Then you go back and check your payment voucher or your tax relief file. This is missing, that is missing. So this one, it will be more secure as compared to your paper records keeping. Okay? And who likes most? Which part? Indian revenue, of course, they love your accuracy and compliances. No way you can run away. All right, let's watch some video.
To support the growth of the digital economy, the government intends to implement e-invoice in stages in an effort to enhance the efficiency of Malaysia's tax administration management. The e-invoice will enable real-time or near real-time validation and storage of transactions, catering to business to consumer, and business to government transactions. Say goodbye to conventional digital invoices, as e-invoicing with continuous transaction control is here to boost your accounting operations. Phase 1. Effective August 1st, 2024, it will be implemented for businesses with an annual turnover of 100 million ringgit and above. Phase 2. Beginning January 1st, 2025, it will be expanded to businesses with an annual turnover between 25 million and 100 million ringgit. Phase 3. By July 1st, 2025, all businesses regardless of size will be required to issue e-invoices.
Okay, you have watched the video just now. So now I have a few questions for you. For you to win your card, okay, whoever answer my question, I will give you one card. You don't have to look what are the number of this. At the end of the day, you will count how many cards that you give. I have actually some mystery gift for you. All right, so first question. From the video just now, can you please tell me how many faces are there in the implement? Oh, you so fast, who's the fastest? Okay, who's the fastest? Miss Guan. Okay, Miss Guan.
3 faces.
3 faces? Yes, I give you one card.
Thank
Okay,
you.
what are that 3 faces? I see Brian take up your hand already. What are the 3 faces?
1st August 2024.
Some more?
1st January 2025.
Some more?
1st July 2005.
Okay, you got it right. And then, Bime, you want to try? What are the 3 categories, how they break into? By what?
First faces is more than 100 million.
Yes.
The second is 25 million until 100 million. The third faces is less than 25 million.
Okay, bingo, you got it right. Okay, you. And now, okay, fighting. When is your company implementation day? Yes.
1st July 2025.
Okay, you got your card. Okay, Stanley, you have to catch up. All right. So after the end of this section, we are all able to know the process flow of e-invoice. All right. So how it flows. Is there any change from what we are currently doing? And when we come to 1st July 2025, 25. Is there any change? And what are the major changes? Next, identify who is affected by e-invoice and also its implementation timeline. So just now you have talking about the timeline. So is there any change to the timeline? And then what shall we do when we have reached that timeline? And also what are the things under the coverage of e-invoice? What should we take care about? Some more. Come to the very important part, how do we prepare for getting ready and how to prepare for the implementation of e-invoice, yeah? So this is what we are going to learn. All right, and also we are going to learn some new terms, all right, which is 3 very important terms. One is e-invoice. Second one is consolidated e-invoice. The third one will be yes, self-bill e-invoice. These are the 3 important terms that you must take home today. And also, we must learn the importance of e-invoice, which is for the proof of income and also for the proof of expenses. So this is our take-homes today. Alright, I have actually break up my content into 4 sections, 4 modules, which in the morning will be cover overview of e-invoice, then later scope of e-invoice, and some of the practical issue of e-invoice, and how do we get ready of e-invoice to meet our learning outcome. Okay? Alright. For example, now this is the current trend. When you are buying something from someone, what is the process of getting the invoice? Say for example, Asan, you are the seller. Okay, Bime, you are the buyer. Show up. Who is the buyer, who is the seller? Okay, now who wants to buy things? Bime. Bime want to buy something from Asan. So when you buy something, the goods will be delivered to you. Then after that, together with a copy of a copy of the invoice, straight direct to you. Am I right? Okay, so now come to e-invoice era. Is there any change? Is it just because of this no more longer become paper? Or this is become electronic by email, by PDF, by whatsoever?
Yes.
Okay, let's see. Okay, what are the features that we're supposed to have in the current invoice that we are doing? Alright, e-invoice I have break up into E is electronic, invoice is the documents. It actually recorded the sales happened between the buyer and the seller. Am I right to say? But this e-invoice copy that Malaysia is implementing is not only that. The copy of invoice that Asan was generated for the buyer will have to go through Inland Revenue portals to do a verification, checking. Alright? Checking what? Checking the information that you key in. Both information. Your information as a vendor, as a seller, the income tax reference number, the address, the SST number, whatever, is it correct? And then later, we'll be checking buyer's information. Okay, once all this has been done and these are the valid person, then this copy of invoice will be embedded with QR code together with a series of unique identification number. We call it UNI. Now, this is a valid document of e-invoice. Alright? Okay, I come back to the process. It's going to be buyer buy things from seller. Seller will generate the invoice copy, then send to Inland Revenue for validation. After validated with a copy of QR code, then only this copy can be passed to the buyer. And this only will finally become the legal and legitimate document to prove your purchase and to prove your income. So these are the process. Alright? So just now we have touched on the checking part is on the TIN number, MSIC code, BRN, and QR code. So TIN number is what?
Tax identifier number.
Yes, you got it right. MSIC is the industry code that when you have incorporated with inner revenue, then they have assigned you or asked you to select your code. So it's the industry code. These are the information that you will never furnish to to end current process where we generate the invoice. You will never see MSIC code. You will never see in TIN number, and also you will never see a BRN. BRN is what? Business registration number, which is when you have incorporated, they will give you a business registration number of SSM. You will not see this, but anyhow, now is a mandatory required information for you to furnish so that you can generate your copy of invoice. And inner revenue is going to check all this information as well. Okay? And these are the different. The seller will, instead of pass to the buyer directly, then it will actually go through inner revenue for validation. Alright, how is going to get the validation done? Just now I'm talking, seller will pass this invoice for validation from inner revenue. So, through what method? So, which is through government portal for validation. So, there is a government portal that we are going to touch on later. Alright, now I have exercise for you. And I know among you, you have actually, some of you have gone through this e-invoice basics knowledge. So that is why I have a competition here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of us. I'm going to break you up into 2 groups. Then you name you select one leader from your group, and then you name your group a name. Then we are going to give you 3 rounds. I will give you 3 rounds of competition. See who is the fastest who give me the answer. And then you got the most correct answer, you will won yourself 1 round. So 3 rounds. So if you have majority 2:1 or 3, you win all. I will give you a gift. For group, so you have individual, you also have a group. Okay, I have a few number cards here. Odd number 1 group, even number 1 group. Okay, please take your card. Okay, take your card. Then you have to sit together, 4 here, 4 there. Take. Okay, you pass on. Pass on, you see. Okay, last, you have no choice. Okay, please show your card. The odd number is here, single number is here.
Even.
Even number is here. These are 4 persons. Who are the even numbers? Sit together. Please change seat.
Even here, odd here.
I don't know. So this is odd. Odd no need to move lah. Oh, you just move 1 person lah. Okay. Ayo. Ayo. Okay. Okay, give me back the card. This one is not for your marking. This one not for your marking. Okay, 8 of them. Who else? Okay, 8 of them. Okay, now I am going to give you the first round of question. And you have to answer. You have to answer within 5 minutes. Our time 5 minutes. Please, time 5 minutes. Okay, pass on. This is the round 1 question. Maybe you 4 have a discussion. 4. Then after that, you can see who is answer which part. So when ready, please let me know. I'm going to start my clock. Okay, ready? Group discussion. Maybe you can find a corner to discuss who to answer which one. Okay. Shall I start now? Okay. 1, 2, 3, start. 5 minutes.
want to invite choose one.
我吃3啊。
Three 啊，OK 啊。
choose all.
One 啊，你 choose all 啊。
I choose all already.
你说过。
那我要第三个什么？
Stanley，这个马上。呀，choose two 啊。One。
So count down how many minutes? Count down how many minutes? 1 minute. So the paper must pass to me here in front. No need. You can just combine everything, but remember to put your group name. What is your group name? Your group name. You can compound. 2 minutes. You have only 3 minutes.
我写太棒哦。
我写得很乱。
Together. I won't count this one. It's not complete. Your group name, what is your group name? Your team. Happy birthday team or everyday happy team, funny team, Stanley team. How many minutes more? 2 minutes more. 2 minutes more. ，After the last 10, 9, we count loudly. Less than 1 minute. Some more. Okay, times to count 10, 9. Okay, last 1 minute. Thirty seconds left. Okay. 10, 9. Okay. Time's up. Pens off. Pens off. Is there any staple? Staple. I want to staple together. Okay. Time's up, time's up. Wow, congratulations. Okay. Now we have this, this is what your group name? Sumi ah?
Sherwin.
Oh, Sherwin. This is Stanley team ah. Okay, who is the leader of your team? Maggie. Who is the leader of your team? Stanley. Okay, I exchange for checking because I'm going to go through with you the answer. So you please take, and then I see which one who has the more answer. Alright, so shall we go back to our slide? Who must comply? Just now we are talking about e-invoice. It's actually the sales, the documentation to record the sales transaction, and it has the certain features which must be validated by Inland Revenue, right? And then which must have the QR code and also the UIN number. And who must apply? Who must be doing this? Okay, you got all this right? Yeah, so fast ah. You got all this right? Okay, see, count how many? So we have association, body of person, branch, business, trust, cooperative, society. In fact, it's mostly all the person, individual or legal separate entity, they are all must comply. So you got all your answer correct ah?
Correct.
Really ah? Okay, kill yourself. Alright, and then who is applicable? Basically, regardless of whether you are dealing with B to C or B to B or B to G, you must comply with e-invoice. So it's a must already. And also it covers all the business and non-business transaction. So as long as you are commence or conducting business activity, you are doing business activity, then you have to comply. Either you are you have your business or you have non-business activity. So what are the example of business and non-business transaction? So I have given you some example. Whatever you have put down there may be is in this slide, may not be in this slide. So I want to hear your answer now. First, I only give you the example on the income side. So can you read for me this Maggie, Stanley Group, what is the business income they have written there?
Sales of goods.
Maggie, are you Maggie?
Trading income,
Ah.
interest received, construction, rental income, and disbursement income.
Okay, got it right or not? Yes, alright. And then what about non-business transaction?
Disposal of fixed asset, compensation received, bad debt recovered, dividend received, and disposal investment.
Okay, also got it right, ah? Correct. Okay, now, Stanley, can you read the Sherwin Group, their non-business and business expenses this round? I don't give you any example, but I want you to know whether is this your normal business transaction or not.
First is sales of goods.
Sales of goods, expenses or?
Business expenses.
Expenses,
Purchases.
Business expenses.
Let me see.
Sales of goods. Second, don't know what erecting.
Okay, can Sherwin come and tell us what you are written here? No, this is income. This is income. I want to know the expenses. Expenses is which page?
I think it's so nice. Because we all also got right. Need to refer one to one more.
Oh, need to refer one to this one. No need to read. Just read the expenses. Then you take 5 every page. You have to see. Okay, wow, you trouble Stanley so much. You have to buy Stanley Starbucks coffee already.
Business expenses will be purchases, petrol.
Okay, this one you won't get the score. Ah? You agree or not? You agree or not?
You can refer to others.
Non-business expenses are service, printing, depreciation, back debt. Depreciation. Depreciation. Donation, legal fee, insurance.
Okay, then what about their business and non-business expenses?
Rental of premises, legal fee, secretary fee, entertainment, printing and stationery. For non-business expenses is donation, gift, bad debt, depreciation, and what is that?
Of fixed asset.
Interest
Expenses.
expense.
Okay, you agree they have 10 score from here for the expenses? Okay, the other side they got 10 score or not? No lah, okay lah, you fail. Okay, you agree, but never mind. We still have the another 2 more parts, right? Alright, now who is exempted? Who is exempted? Example of who is exempted lah. I have given you, there are many here. So you just have to name me 5. So please choose the 5. Is it from this slide?
First, residential, employment. The third one, country. Zakat.
Question 3. We are talking about question 3. Who is exempted? Not what type of income is exempted. Stanley, who is exempted? Not what type of income is exempted.
Who is exempted?
That is
residential, employment, zakat.
you got the answer correct for the next part, but not for this part. Because now we are talking about who is exempted, so that's why kosong. Kosong. So this question, Maggie, this question is it? They got it right? Yeah, individual who is not conducting business.
Yes. Ruler of state. Yes. Okay. 5.
Oh, you also score 5. So, Sherwin, any marks from that? Sherwin, no mark, 0 mark.
1 point.
Okay, who is exempted? Basically, these are the people who is exempted. They don't have to comply with e-invoice. Those are the agongs lah, government lah, local government lah, and all that. But the one that we always deal will be the last one, individual who is not conducting business. So later part we are going to cover how to deal with this group of people. Huh? All right, type of income exempted. This will be some of the answer. So these are the income that you don't have to issue e-invoice for that. So please check your answer. Is that correct? How many has been correct? We have employment income. We have alimony, which you pay to your divorced wife or husband. Pension and the dividend, and also zakat. These are the incomes that you don't have to issue e-invoice for that. So you got it right or not?
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, all right lah. Okay, so now this round, who is the winner? The winner is? The winner is who?
Not me, Stanley Kim.
Okay, San, please write down. Round 1, who is the winner? The name. Okay, welcome back after the break. Now we have the summary of the round 1 result. So the team Stanley has won 2 rounds. So please catch up, the Sherwin group. And individual, we have the most cut is Asan, Miss Kwan, Stanley. Okay, the rest you still have chance, because they have only 2, you still have chance to catch it up. Okay. Shall we continue with our module 2? Now we cover the scope of e-invoice. So what is under the scope of e-invoice? Firstly, these are the documentations that we are going to use, and only documents that we can use under the e-invoice era. They have actually four types. The first one is invoice, which is you already very familiar with. This is the sales record, and this is the standard invoice. E-invoice also they call it invoice. Then the other one is credit note. The green color one is the credit note. Credit note is for you to give discount or rebate or returns, okay, for a certain transaction, for certain invoice that you have actually recorded. And the other one is debit note over here, the yellow color. So this is nothing very strange for you, right? Because you are from the accounting base. So these are the documents that we are very, very familiar. But the new one comes in and kicks in, we call it refund note. This is the note that we had never used before, and is never from our accounting term. But this round, we have to use this one if there is any refund of money. All right, if you have first created your e-invoice, given to your buyer, and oh no, there is some adjustment need to be done. I need to give discount, so then you give CN. But however, before you give this discount, money has been paid to you. Then you need to have give CN together with refund. This is what we currently doing. This is not allowed. Okay, you have to use a refund note instead of credit note in this situation, because you are involving the return of money. Unless there is no return of money, you just want to give discount to reflect the billing amount is lower, then we will give CN. Okay, DN is additional payment. Let's say I have shifted this good to you at the original time. When I give this good to you, I give you the invoice. I don't even know the transportation charges yet, or I don't know how much is the rate yet. This is just purely estimate. Then later part, I will follow you with another debit note to adjust the content, or if there's something I have missed out, I need to charge you additional or revise. Or else if this is a transportation charges, you can have another copy of e-invoice instead of call it debit note. Okay, so these are the changes to what we are doing. And remember, refund note is to be used when there's a refund of your money. So these are the 4 types of documents you have to remember. All right, now come to the competition part. Oh, you have a question? Okay, I go back first.
For the refund,
for the refund.
can I just tell the supplier, just keep it for contract for next purchase?
Good question. Good question. This is not, oh, you want cut lah? Okay. Stanley, thank you. That reminding he wants cut. Okay, I want cut. Okay, thank you, Stanley, for your good question. Yes, you can keep the amount, because this is as to the company policy. If you are not physically refund the money to your customer, then you keep the amount sitting in your trade debtors as a negative balance. This is okay, no problem. You don't need to issue refund note for that, because this is only optional that you can choose. If you want to refund, you give refund note. If you do not want to, then you just keep it negative in your trade debtors. Okay? All right, now this is the test time. Raise up your hand if you know the answer. Compared to traditional invoice, what do you call? Number 1, I give 4% chance lah, huh? Number 1, currently we call it invoice. Under traditional current, before your invoice, e-invoice era, what do you call? Jiming, yes, you must raise up your hand, say your name. Invoice, yes, you got it right. Okay, Jiming, card. Credit note. Who was? Bimela, give you a chance.
Credit note.
Yes, credit note. Okay, third one. Debit note. Asan, debit note. Correct. Refund note.
Credit note.
Stanley say credit note wrong. Not wrong lah, not enough.
Credit refund note.
Contra note also not correct.
Credit refund note.
Credit refund note, no.
Credit note plus payment voucher.
Yes, bingo! You got the answer. Yes.
So many chances already.
Maggie already so quiet, silent for you to show. You never want to show. Okay, yes. Is currently what we practice is payment voucher law. We pay back money, we give payment voucher and credit note law. And now I have another number 5. Number 5 is receipt. If you find that current traditional invoice documents, we have number 5 receipt, right? But what about e-invoice era? Is there any receipt? Just now I saw 4 documents only, right? What is that? Invoice, debit note, credit note, refund note. Is there any receipt?
No.
No receipt. Why?
Income tax don't need it.
Under e-invoice era, there is an option for you to issue receipt or not to issue receipt. This one is not under receipt, official receipt for receiving your money. It's optional under e-invoice. You want to issue or you don't want to issue also no problem. But however, under Income Tax Act, this is compulsory to issue receipt. Because if you don't issue receipt, then you will be fined from 300 per piece to up to 10,000 per piece. So this is under the current income tax practice, which from MT years, okay, the first launch of Income Tax Act is already there. But under e-invoice era, there is no section say you must issue receipt. But however, receipt is under your income tax section now. So you got it clear? All right, now we take a look. How is the flow of all these documents? So under the AR, accounts receivable process flow, is as per the current situation, you issue your sales quotation. Then after that, you may have your sales order, nothing changed. Then later your goods deliver. When the goods has delivered, then only you will issue, the seller will issue the e-invoice. And if you find out the e-invoice, there are some error, you want to make adjustment to it. So your adjustment could be credit note or debit note. Then later you issue to your buyer. Then your buyer will only pay you the money. Okay? And after they pay you the money, this is the refund note kicks in. This is the time you will issue the refund note. But as Stanley saying that if I don't refund the money, I just want to sit in the future contra payment. Then just leave it negative in the trade debtors balances, no problem. Then later part, you have to come to reconciliation. Then they go back to the same cycle. So what I tell you is, when come to e-invoice era, this reconciliation is very important. So every time you have to do reconciliation to whatever your system, and also to see if there's any rejections or there's any changes to the documents that you have issued. Okay, no problem. So now we move on to accounts payable. So accounts payable, you raise up your purchase order, no change. Then you receive your goods. After you check the goods delivered are in order, items safely arrived, everything is okay. Then you will receive the e-invoice copy. And this e-invoice copy, you have how many hours to approve or reject? Here is kicks in 72 hours that you kicks in, whether you want to accept or you want to reject for the e-invoice. Then later part only you make the payment and then the cycle goes back to the same. So these are the flow. Okay, so now stand by for your competition. Another round for you to win your card. First thing, I give you one scenario. Mr. Jama sold 200 office chairs. Then please tell me what document to issue. Mr. Jama sold 200 chairs to Green Sendirian Berhad. What document to issue? Who wants to try? Maggie?
Invoice.
Yes, you got it. Wow, why are you so scared?
There is no competition. Already this is challenging question.
Too easy to answer. Okay, thirdly. Sorry. Oh. Okay, some may not be seeing it. Okay, greens will pay 2,000. And what you will be giving? This one I give you answer already, no? Receipt, yes, Asan. Okay, too fast just now. Okay, later, greens find out they are 840 chair. I need to return. So what document you have to give?
Credit note.
Huh? Who say credit note? One? Miss Guan?
CN, credit note.
Credit note. You say refund note. We see who is correct. Return 8 units of 40 chair. And the answer is? Refund note, yes. You know why? Because this already paid in step 3 ma. Receipt already issue ma. There's a catch. Uncle too fast. Okay, now I have another round for you. You move on to your question 8. Question 6. Example of data field required for your conventional invoice. Okay, I give you 2 minutes. You go and try. What are the information that you need to furnish to give in order for you to have your conventional invoice issue right now? Conventional invoice, Conventional. So, Aki, please count 2 minutes. Then you raise up your hand fast and shout your name. This round must shout your name. Ready? When Aki say 10, 9, something, come to the end, you must shout your name. Conventional invoice, not e-invoice. Conventional. So now, meaning now, in your practice, many minutes more?
1 minute has passed.
1 minute has passed. Then you stand by to shout your name. The card is ready for you. Okay. Okay.
30 seconds left.
Very kanchong, Very kanchong, Very kanchong, Okay.
10 seconds left.
Okay.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3,
You must stand up
1,
and shout your name.
0.
Okay, Asan. Okay, Asan. I give Asan 1 card for her try. Maggie also you got 1 card. Okay. And then if you got your answer correct, also I give you card. Okay. Asan, please tell us your answer.
Product, buyer detail, invoice detail, payment info, and supplier detail.
Yes, correct. Okay, as promised. Your answer?
Invoice number, date, company name, company address, and SST number.
SST
If
number.
got the SST, we will issue in the SST number.
Okay lah, correct lah, correct lah. SST number. Currently, we practice to give SST number. Yes. Okay, you got it right. Okay, this is your conventional data field. So if you compare to e-invoice requirement, this is for e-invoice. E-invoice requirement, we have total 55 data field that you have to furnish. All right, some of these 55 data field, they are mandatory, compulsory to fill. Some are optional, just for the sake of information. Okay, if you compare to the category that break up to 8 categories are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They are more or less to your current practice, except for the few MSIC code, TIN number, and business registration number is already there. And there are income tax reference number, TIN number is the most important one. Okay, so these are the 8 categories. And now I have also another task for you to win back your card. So the 8 categories are actually contained of 55 data fields. They are all here. And these 55 data fields, I told you already, some are compulsory to fill, mandatory. If you don't fill, you cannot pass to next level. Some are optional. So I want you to circle which one is optional and which one is compulsory. And this exercise is for group. You want it group or for individual? For group lah, huh? I break up into group. So remember your group? Remember your group? Then after that, we will compare. It's better you circle one page lah. Then after that, then we will refer to one. This is group exercise. Then you are going to win your card at the group level. You can refer this. This one is for information. For your information, then you circle. Okay, times are how many minutes? 3 minutes. Okay, this round 3 minutes. We start now. 3 minutes. You circle. You have 1 minute left. Your optional must have 22. Your optional must have 22. 22 field because altogether 55. So optional should be 22. And I want circle. If you take, I won't give you mark. I want circle. When we go for school, you know, very strict. Circle is circle. Take is take. 10 seconds left. Time's up. Okay, please write down your group name on the right anchor top and very follow instruction.
now you say cannot take one circle.
Okay. Wait, time's up already. Wait. Minus. Okay, now I exchange, Bimei, your group. Okay, we come and see the answer. Okay, the yellow one is the optional. Then why 20, right? Why I say 22 is because the email, supplier email and the buyer's email, currently the current update, it becomes optional already. So altogether is 22 optional field and the white color one is mandatory. So become 35 minus 2 is 33 lor. Okay, see you got your answer right. You go and count lah. If you got one right, is 1 mark. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 like that lah. The yellow one, we count only the yellow one, yellow. If they got yellow one correct is marks, then the highest mark will win this round lah. Basically, you just look at the yellow one. Yellow plus these two circles. Buyers and supplier. Who got this correct? Anyone got it right? Don't have. Okay, then you count lah. You count how many? So the very important from this data field is your BRN, SST, TIN, NRIC, and MSIC code. Okay, count how many? Mistake 2.没有啦. We count only how many they have. How many they have? Standing group, how many?
For yellow color.
For yellow color.
16 correct.
16 correct, the showing group. Choose. Short-sighted cannot see. How many? 17. Okay, showing group 17. And then standing group is 16. So who win? Oh! Okay, showing round 3. Some more. No worry, they are round 4. They are round 4. Suddenly I want to add because you guys already win 2 rounds in front. No shock ma. We must give chance ma, huh? Okay, from this data field is the very important data for you to have this e-invoice issue. Alright, and when you go out also, you must have get ready and stand by all the mandatory code, otherwise you cannot be proceed. Okay, you check from this data field, you will notice number 8 is MSIC code. Just now, during the break, Maggie asked me some question. What about MSIC code for a company if they have 2 or 3 different MSIC code? Because they might have a different principal objective of the business. Okay, the business activity is different. Then when you issue the e-invoice, you can select the respective code. So you have to take note of that. And if you have SST number, then you have to provide the SST number for tax purposes or for tax exemption purposes. And again, when I go for classification, number 28, you have total 45 classification code for you to choose. What are the classification of your product and what are there? So you have to check, really check one by one and one by one. And if you couldn't find, you can put code 22, which is the general others. This is there. Importation, they have separate code or whatever, they have separate code. Okay, the unit price also you can choose. They have many yardstick for you to choose, either one piece, one unit, or 1 ton or 1 carton, many of that. So you really have to check through correctly. Okay, so these are it. You don't have to remember. Once you have, you don't have to memorize lah. Once you have practice, then you will know by it. Okay, for this is for you to generate your e-invoice. So what if sometimes your customer will tell you, I don't need e-invoice because I don't want to wait, the queue is too long. I am only buying for my own consumption, my own purchase. Then there's this consolidated e-invoice kicks in. Meaning for customer who had never requested for the e-invoice, you can accumulate all the sales in 1 month, then you report at the following month before the end of the following month. So this reporting will only key in 1 time. And then it's very useful for those who are doing B2C businesses. Because the B2C, just like Mr. DIY, Starbucks, many of the customers, they don't need the e-invoice for their whatever claiming from company or whatever purposes. Then you can actually accumulate and add up all the sales together and report only 1 time and 1 month 1 time. Okay, I illustrate on the following graph. Say for example, on the 23rd of August, you have this sales transaction. And very importantly is customer does not request for e-invoice. So meaning the customer must not wanted to ask for e-invoice already, then they walk off. You can actually add up together with the rest of the sales up to from 1st August to 31st of August for the whole month. So you just add up together, aggregate, or maybe compound together. And one shot, you reported before the 7 calendar days of the next month, which is the 1st of August until 31st of August, we report on the 7th of September. This is the last day to report. And please remember, the 7 days is the calendar days. Calendar days meaning you just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lah. And there is no off day replacement or public holiday or whatever. Okay, say for example, so happen today's sales is 31st August. So your 31st August is to report when? Also 7 of September. And all these invoice, when you add up together, you report on the 7th of September, right? In between, some of these sales, it could have 1 or 2 or a few that has been given e-invoice on the spot. Then your aggregation, your compilation of everything must have excluded those that you have given your e-invoice. Then you report the remaining on the 7th of September. Okay? Clear? Okay, good. So I proceed to the next slide. The consolidated e-invoice flow. You could have come to this situation when you are conducting this sales transaction. If your customer, yes, they want a copy of invoice, buyer required e-invoice, yes, then you have to go through the e-invoice process. First, supplier obtain your buyer's details. Then supplier issue and validate the e-invoice. Then later supplier share the validated invoice with the QR code plus the UIN number to the buyer. Then the buyer can actually scan the QR code to view the content of the invoice. And then whether you want to approve, you want to reject, must be within 72 hours. Then later buyer will be able to substantiate the transaction for tax purposes. This is the purpose. Why you asking for a copy of invoice? Because this is for your proof of your expenses. Then this is the valid copy, which no cancellation after 72 hours. And this is going to be the legitimate, valid, tax deductible documents. And it has to be matching your TIN number with your business. You cannot be saying, my company is company A, Sdn Bhd. Then my TIN number I given this one. Then later you want to make this tax deduction under company B, which is not possible. And then especially for those sole proprietor who always go and put your income tax, personal income tax reference number, so much of expenses, then you do not generate your income. Then you got to be watch out. This guy that you are buying so much of material, what are you doing? Why don't you have an income? So these are the shadow economy that the target to reduce by inner revenue. You have to watch out. Okay, so if supplier do not want invoice, I'm very busy, I don't want, and I am not going to make any tax deduction for that, then the supplier will issue normal receipt, just like your post system or whatever receipt given to you. Then after the end of the month, I accumulate and compile everything, I report in one single copy. Of course, you can have one single copy or multiple copy, depending to how many outlets or how many branches that you have. I'm going to show you the sample later. All right? So for this case, is supplier, after generating the consolidated e-invoice at the within the 7 days of the next following month, is the supplier have to share a copy for the buyer? No need, of course no need, because I am not asking for any information from you. How am I going to locate you? How to give you a copy? So no. Then the buyer will not get any tax deduction for these purposes. Alright, so this will be the diagram. Okay, now the consolidated e-invoice update. Originally, when this consolidated e-invoice is introduced, it's actually for B2C businesses, meaning only for those people who are dealing with consumer or customer directly. Give me some example of B2C. Starbucks, yes.
McDonald's?
Yes,
KFC.
McDonald's, KFC. Mr. DIY. Many B2C. But anyway, under the new updates, they actually allow for all industry already, as long as if your customer do not request for a copy of their e-invoice, then you can actually issue this consolidated e-invoice. But except for 7 category of transaction that in the following slide that I'm going to elaborate to you. So remember, consolidated e-invoice can be done for every industry, regardless of you are B2C or B2G or B2B.
Business to customer, B2C.
Sorry, this is typo error, B2C. Sorry, thank you, Stanley. And this is B2G. Okay, for this correction of error, give you 1 card. I give you 1 card. Thank you for telling me. Okay, so these 7 category of people, we are going to elaborate later. But in the latest update, in fact, they have 8 categories. The last category I will tell you later. But these are the 7 categories that we used to deal with. Okay, remember, except for this 7 category, you cannot issue consolidated. Cannot means you have to issue real-time basis, piece by piece, every transaction. Okay? Refer to slide 47. No need to flick through. So now we continue with the next slide. Okay, for the consolidated e-invoice, because of you do not have the buyer's name, and then you do not have the individual buyer's income tax reference number, that's why you consolidate, ma. So under this, the information that we fill under the supplier name, the buyer's name will be general public. You just got to memorize this lah, general public. And also the buyer's TIN is this one. How many zero here? This one no cut, just count how many zero. 8 meh?
9.
Yes, they are all together 9 0. So you just got to memorize this is general public for the buyer's name, and buyer's TIN is EI 990-110. Okay. The rest of the address lah, contact number, email, whatever, SST number, you just put NA, not applicable. Then the number 8, description of product, you just put sales or something, a general one. And the number 9, the quantity, just put 1 will do. Just put 1 will do. So as simple as this. Then you look at the sample of e-invoice number 1. See, buyer's TIN 90, buyer's name general public. Then NA. Then this is your classification code. This is what they sell. And these are the receipt number. Quantity, I put 1. May not be 1, you could be buying more, but you just put 1. And then this is the receipt number, line by line. Then you got it sent out one time, 1 piece. Okay, why we need to list down all this official receipt number? Because this is compulsory. And it's for you to identify, it could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 has already been given e-invoice on the spot. So you just list down one by one and accumulate, and then you submit within 7 days from the next month. This is type A. Okay, then another sample is type B, whereby you can have one line like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, comma, 1, 2, 3, 9, then you get a total. This is also acceptable. Okay, just now is line by line, now is one line. Then another type also, this also acceptable. Then 1112 to 112. Then 1113 is missing. Why? Because e-invoice has been given. Then 1114, then after that, this in a group. This format also acceptable. Any format is up to you and for your convenience. Some even put this is KL outlet, KL branch, then one line. Then this another one, Langkawi outlet, one line. Or maybe you can get your outlet, Kuchai outlet, one consolidated. And then the Sepang outlet, one. Then another Bangsa outlet, another one. Also can. Then you don't need to wait for the rest to give you the data. Then you have late for the submission. Because remember, you have the 7 days to submit. And then if you late, how much is the compound? Yes. 1 month you miss out 1. Then you times 12 months, how much you need to pay? Then if the root store hawker, the nasi lemak seller, that they don't want to do, or they have forgotten to do, you times 20,000 times 12 months, then how many packet of nasi lemak only they can recover back the loss?
Is it the must debit the unrecorded invoices, 1110 to 1112? Can we just put KL branch to 65,000?
Okay. Our Stanley is very fast moving to my next slide already. Regardless of the method.
No cut.
Okay, you agree want to give him cut or not?
No.
Okay, who raise up? Please raise up your hand. No cut given. Okay, regardless of the methods adopted by businesses, okay, the reference number or the bill number or your receipt number must be included. So meaning they accept for whatever method that you reported, but except for you must have indication what is the number. You cannot just generally put KL branch, that's it. But at least KL branch from the number, what number to what number? Have I answered your question? Okay, I'll give you one card. See, you so sad. So that is why, who has the Starbucks? Who has the Starbucks invoice? Okay. That's why the Starbucks, they do not want to waste their resources of allocating one staff to give you the e-invoice because it's going to take a long time. Remember the 55 data field? So that's why they have used this, we call it, we learn API, and this is middleware. They are using middleware, not from their own accounting software. Otherwise, then they have to key in on the spot and give you. So they use this middleware. This is after sales, only you go back home and then you key in yourself. Then only you get a copy of e-invoice. Then after that, this data will be linked back to Starbucks. Then when they consolidated, their system will take out the one that who has already given e-invoice to you. Then they will not add up in the report. So that is why the organization, the big company, they will have to invest in software. By doing so, then they don't have to spend so much time in generating this or no more manual one by one calculating. Okay, remember the slide just now I'm saying consolidated e-invoice, you can do it one shot within 7 days. Except for how many categories? 7 categories. So these are the categories that cannot issue e-invoice consolidated. So meaning they will have to issue every time there is a sales. So every time for these 7 categories, they have to issue the e-invoice. Okay, respectively. However, come to the category number 8, sometimes say 8. The other 8 one is actually the insurance agent. The insurance agent, but later part they have lobby, income tax department. So they are given also consolidated options already. So that's why I don't count it in. Because the law is now even changing and changing. But however, this 7 category, you cannot apply consolidated e-invoice and you must give the e-invoice on the spot. Can you give some example? What are these automotive is involved to? You want cut? Okay. First, automotive. What are the items that they sell? Okay, Maggie follow instruction. Maggie follow instruction. Maggie, I give you. You say it out.
Sales of car, for example, Prado, Proton, those things.
Okay lah. You agree lah, huh? Aviation. Aeroplane. Jet plane. Air ticket. Travel ticket. Okay, then luxury goods. What are the example of luxury goods? Every cannot say Rolex man. Number 4, construction. Developer. Main con, progress billing, their construction income. That's why you're familiar with construction. Okay, wholesale and retail of construction material. I need the example of the shops. NSK? Hardware shop, yes. NSK not correct. Because NSK sell food. Cement cannot give it to you. Okay. License gaming and betting outlet. Genting lah. Genting Highland lah. Genting. Correct. Okay. Agent, dealer, commission. Example.
Property agent.
Property agent that you collect the real estate commission. What else? Insurance. Correct. You got it right. So these are the group of people you must issue the e-invoice on the spot during your sales. Okay. Just now we are talking about if customer requests for e-invoice. No, sometimes customer can request e-invoice after sales. So what shall we do? All right, the buyer, if they request on the spot for the e-invoice, then you have option 1, 2, 3 to generate your e-invoice copy. Either you can use your retailer web, you can use your points of sales, you can use your My Invoice portal, My Invoice mobile apps. So under the number 3, My Invoice portal is the portal hosted by Inner Revenue, which is for free lah. You can use that one, but it's very slow because they do not have your historical data captured there. You have to key in one by one. And My Invoice mobile apps is the one that they are going to launch somewhere in October soon, that you can use the app to do, not necessary that you have to invest in the laptop or computer. Then the retailer apps and POS number 2. POS is the POS system that currently Mr. DIY is doing. If you want e-invoice, then you have to queue here. Then you give your information, I will print the e-invoice for you on the spot. Number 1 is the retailer apps. Retailer apps is your Starbucks that, and also McDonald's, I think, that when you want to have the e-invoice is after sales, meaning you go back home and use your retailer app to generate. Okay, then sometimes your buyer also has this post-transaction request at the time that they do not in e-invoice. Then later only they want to have the e-invoice, then it will be the retailer apps lah that I'm talking about. Okay, this one is possible and this one also possible. Both also can be done. And these are the sample that we have purchased from DIY, you have purchased from the Starbucks. Look at the below here. Then from here you give the information, then you can process for your e-invoice copy. Okay, what information that you need to provide for your e-invoice? Can anyone want to try? So I see so slow already. What information when you walk in? This one, when you want to key in, I want to know some basic information. Basic you need to provide. Maggie?
TIN number.
TIN number, yes.
Buyer name.
Buyer name, yeah, correct.
Buyer contact.
Buyer contact, correct.
Buyer register number.
Buyer registration number, which is the business registration number lah. Anything else?
Purchases, what type of description?
You as the buyer, you walk in the store, you walk into the store, no, you say I want to buy Starbucks coffee, you mean you have to ask Starbucks, please give me this code 030
For latte?
I don't this card no given, wrong. Huh? Yeah, contact number. Who else want to earn my card? Okay, I'll give you answer lah. I mean, that one is out of your control. Supplier is the one who actually put in. Okay, this is the card that you always have to bring lah, huh? Your name, TIN number, registration number, contact number, SST number, buyer address. Okay, number 7 and 8 is you have practiced to key in this, right? And then after that, you have to key in certain information, right? Especially for Jaya Grocer, you have to put in even the receipt number and the amount. But product no lah. Strictly no. We have tried many already. Except for the amount and the invoice number. Then they have matched. Then only they will generate the invoice to you. Okay. So Stanley want to appeal?
Don't want.
Don't want. Alright, so these are the information that you have to provide. I will advise you from now on, you will have to get it stored in your mobile phone anywhere you go. Alright, these are the sample of the Berjaya Starbucks that I get. Sorry, not 30, Stanley, this is 22. The classification is 22. This is the e-invoice that I get after we get it post-transaction. This is the Berjaya. So you look at the format, it can be many format, you know. Some ask me, is my format must be landscape or portrait? or big or small. So there is no definite on the format. But then, I mean the design of your invoice, it can be anything. But except for the UIN number must be there and the barcode must be there. And then you have to check your information whether is it correct or not. So you have another sample, you see? You look at the format just now, that was Starbucks. This is what?
Village grocer.
This is village grocer, like this. Also, barcode contains all the information. So have you tried any that you want to show me? That you have done your exercise? This is Shopee. This is how it looks, the Shopee. So, any other? Only one good student. And usually these retail apps that you apply, how long you get a copy back they send to you?
Not immediately.
1 day. Usually it's the day after. And there is a limitation of time. You cannot lapse the time. Let's say today you purchase. Then 1 week later only you discover you want to get your e-invoice copy. You may not get it. And why? I will tell you later. Okay? So, okay, you keep that in your mind. So now we move on to another module. The practical issue of e-invoice. So these are the e-invoice problem that we face. Alright, what is the purpose of e-invoice? Why that we need to keep this e-invoice? As for inner revenue, for the government, of course, this is for transparency, your compliances, reporting accurately. But for us, we have two very major and important functions. First is for proof of income. Then later we have proof of expenses. Alright, we take a look to the proof of income. Document is issued to record your sales transaction and to recognize your income. So meaning what you have reported here is going to be what you are reported at the end of the day for your tax returns copies. So you will have to make it very real time. Now I will tell you inner revenue, they even know your income generated every second, you know. It's not every month or every year. Now we're reporting our tax in a yearly basis. But in this e-invoice era, they know your income every minute, even every now. Because every minute when you are reporting your e-invoice, they already know your income. Even for the consolidated, is actually 7 days, which 1 month. They know your 1 month sales every month. So don't play. Whatever accrual, whatever adjustment that you need to be done, it has to be very timely. And you cannot say, I want to backdate my report and all that. This is very difficult already. Okay, this proof of income, is it for domestic Malaysian income only or to cover all income?
All income.
Yes. Remember just now I asked you to quote that the business income and non-business income. So actually it covers all. And then not only Malaysia, it covers also your foreign income. So for foreign income, there is a timeline for you to report. You have a date to report. An e-invoice is required for all foreign income received in Malaysia from outside Malaysia as a proof of income for your income tax purposes. And when to report? Say for example, you receive your foreign income on the 20th of August. And when come to the year end again, this is something like the consolidated, then you have, instead of 7 days for reporting of your consolidated e-invoice, that one is for your income. This one for your foreign income, they give you 1 month. This one come to the year end, come to the month end, then you have the end of the month. Before end of the month, to issue a copy of e-invoice, not consolidated e-invoice, is e-invoice and one by one. This is one by one for your reporting for your income purposes. So, the income recipient should issue the e-invoice latest by the end of the month following the month of receipt of the say foreign income. So now we have invoice date. E-invoice date is real time at the time of when you are processing. Then the consolidated e-invoice is 7 days of the next following month. Am I right? This one is very important when your customer does not request or does not require the copy of e-invoice. And now is your foreign income. Foreign income is from the date of your receipt. Then you have to report this e-invoice in the end of the following month. These are the very, very, very important dates to remember. Okay, so what is the example of foreign income? Can anyone quote some example of foreign income? You want uncut?
Dividend receipt.
Dividend received from foreign, from foreigner?
Yeah.
From foreign country, yes, one cut. Interest income from your foreign company or foreign subsidiary.
Management fee received from
Foreigner. These are the foreign income. I'm very kind and generous. We give you so many cuts.
Commission receipt.
You must say foreign lah, say foreign income. Okay. Okay, I stop here already. So many cuts given. Alright, now come to the proof of expenses. Proof of expenses is also very important. Why? Why is that important?
Taxable, deductible.
Expenses.
Yeah, this is taxable and deductible expenses. It has to be legitimate and valid documents, then only you will get the tax deduction. Jimmy, good try. So the e-invoice is very important to prove our expenses, which for the purpose of personal tax relief. So you have tax relief. Then it is also for tax deductible expenditure for a company, and also very important for staff claims. Alright, now another round. I want you to write down what are the, maybe two examples for each. Tax relief, tax deductions, and staff claim under your individual basis. How many you can quote? What is the tax relief usually that you will get from your income tax relief? Example, two example each.
Purchase of computer.
You write down lah. Write down. So altogether you must have 6 examples. Tax relief for 2, tax deduction for 2, staff claim for 2. So can you think of any tax relief? Okay, have you done?
Yes.
Okay, good. Let's start with Maggie. So what is the example, your example for tax relief?
individual, we buy computer, buy telephone mobile, gym membership.
Yes, you are right. You got for yourself 1 card. Who else want to add on this tax relief that different from what Maggie saying? Different from Maggie saying, different,
Life and medical insurance.
Oh, good try. Life and medical. Some more I say 2, right?
Yes.
life and medical.
Life is
Life
life.
insurance and medical insurance.
Like that also, meh?
Yeah, okay, another one. Buy the sport equipment.
Oh, okay, good try. Spot you. So, any more tax relief?
Parents, medical and personal education.
Yes, correct, correct. You got it right. And what else?
Brian, from tax department.
Okay.
Childcare, yes.
And
Two. I say two.
donation, approved donation.
I cannot give hints.
They will give tips.
Computers? Huh?
Breastfeed equipment.
Breastfeeding equipment. Only mama no. Only mama no.
They cannot claim.
They cannot give. Only mom no. So Brian, you want to try? Tax relief, personal deduction. Unify, yes, good try. Unify. Say what else? Oi, hinting EV car, yes, EV car. Wow. For this I give you 2 cards. Because very difficult. You already go 1 round. Am I right? Yeah. And for this tax relief, meaning you have to give whose income tax reference number?
EV.
No, when you want to claim for this e-invoice, for your personal, because you want to claim under yourself.
Personal.
Okay, now you want to claim under husband. Split 2 can ah?
Can.
Child only can.
The receipt is follow the taxpayer's name. So in future, you will have to decide whose claims, then it will be under whose name already. Now you cannot have 1 copy of invoice, then you share among. But you may have asked me, when is it going to start? Must have the e-invoice to be the tax deduction. So when? When?
Year end.
Is it now, immediately? No, because when is our first implementation? Phases of e-invoice?
1st July 2025.
2025. Only come to 1st July 2025, then it's all industry to follow ma. So now this is very unfair for us to get the e-invoice at this moment, because they are not all are compulsory to give you the e-invoice already. But we will have to get ourselves prepared, and you will have to learn to accumulate as much as possible in order for your tax deduction. Okay, so now I move on to tax deduction for a company. Who wants to try? You want to try? Give 2 examples. What is the tax deductible expenses? I give you chance first.
Can pass it, I don't know.
Pass on Okay, pass down. Who want to try? Asan?
Rental expenses.
Yes.
Purchase of goods.
Yes, you got it right. Who else? Tax deductible 2 examples. For a company.
Salary and wages.
Salary and wages, no, because you will not issue e-invoice for this. Remember, the income or expenses, income that we don't need to issue e-invoice is these 2. So who wants to try?
Accounting fee,
Yes.
printing and stationery.
Okay, printing and stationery, accounting fee is outsource. Outsource, not freelance.
Petrol,
Okay, now you cover up. Who else? Well, you again, Okay, any?
Approved donation and secretary fee.
Okay, approved donation and secretary fee.
Water and electricity. After that, purchase of material.
Purchases, you say out already, right?
Purchase of goods.
Purchase of goods.
Not-
Then, rental also got already.
I give you time.
One.
Tax agent fee.
Okay, tax agent fee. Who else?
Trade phone charges and electricity.
I said already.
Trade phone, no.
I said electricity.
Trade phone charges and professional fee.
Okay lah. Professional fee, lawyer fee lah. Okay, so this tax deductible expenses also is very important for a company. You get your e-invoice in the company's name, and then in the years to come, probably in a day, you don't even have to issue your you do your accounts already. They already know how much tax that you need to pay because you have reported your income in real time, or even the latest is 7 days, or even foreign incomes is after the 30 days. Then you will have your income reported in the income section. And then you less out your expenses, right? Those expenses is already some invoices that the supplier issue for you. Is already recorded because both of you, the buyer and the seller, will have the copy of the expenses inside the inner revenue portal. You both, buyer and the vendor, can actually access to the portal to retrieve your copy of invoices. And you won't be surprised when you retrieve that copy of invoices, the e-invoices that someone issued to you, is very detailed. You can see what are the types of expenses that you have. Then your salary, your wages already reported in your EA form. So all those is already been captured. So at the end of the day, the accountants just step in and do what? Yes, reconciliation. You have to check because timing difference. Correct or not? Your foreign income, it may be 30 days later or 7 days later. You just have to do reconciliation. That's why I say reconciliation very important. And what else? Journal, adjustment, depreciation. You still need to do that. And accrual. Because you need to accrue your expenses. Some that you pay later. But you still have to do your accrual. Okay, now come to the last part. Staff claim. 2 examples for your staff claim. Who first? Okay.
Meal allowance, mileage claim.
Yeah, meal allowance, mileage claim. You got it right? Asan?
Entertainment and also the purchase of office expenses.
On behalf of the company. Okay. What else?
Parking.
Parking, yes.
And telephone.
Telephone, okay. Staff claim, I say staff claim. So, any more? Any more? Any more? Subsidy claim? Loan.
Interest subsidy. Housing loan subsidy.
Interest subsidy, I say yes, possible. Interest subsidy. And what else? Mileage claim. You say parking ma. Mileage you may not have. You only have the staff claim form. You do not have the e-invoice. E-invoice is what? One more. Tee, tee. Every time you put the touch and go, tee, tee, tee. Yes, touch and go. Okay, think of this. It is very also important for you. You go and register some of your touch and go. Because some card is without name, unregistered one. So you have to start from now. You go and revise, all this no name one, make sure it's in your name. Telephone, no name or whatever, not your name. Unify, not your name. Then you want to get a claim from the company. Then it's the time for you, at least from now to 1st July 2025, you still have the time to get it changed, to get it re-registered. Alright, so you agree this is very important and you know this is what that we shall take the immediate move for that. So with this, I have one very important message to show you. From now on, what shall we do? So you agree this? Sorry. So you agree this is very important for us to do. And from now on, get your income tax reference number ready, company income tax reference number, and you have to differentiate what are the expenses is under staff claim and what are the expenses should be allowed under company, so that we will not miss out any of the claim. Alright, so but I may have a question for you. Not every store that you go, you will get e-invoice one, you know. Am I right? So if you go and buy nasi lemak from the aunties, you know, selling the roadside, the hawker store, you think they will give you e-invoice? Auntie, I want e-invoice. You go and eat the prawn mee. Auntie, roti canai, I want e-invoice. You think they will give you the e-invoice? They ask you to go tepi jalan. Correct or not? So there are certain circumstances that you may not be getting the copy of e-invoice. So I have listed down a few. Say for example, importations of goods. So if you buy from overseas, you tell the Shopee, you say I want a copy of e-invoice. Shopee, yes, because Shopee is registered as a commerce trader in Malaysia. They have to comply with Malaysia law. But what if you are buying from overseas? They are not comply with Malaysia law. They are not registered under Malaysia. They will not give you a copy of e-invoice. As well as if you engage overseas services, say for example, you have these professional custom services when you want to import certain goods from the custom, you need to engage some professional to check your logistic and all that. They will give you an invoice for that. So this is importation services. You want to get them to issue you e-invoice, also impossible. Or maybe you are doing some advertisement there, or you are getting some legal advice from overseas. So these importation services also you may not be able to get a copy of the e-invoice. As well as the small businesses, just like I'm saying, the roadside hawkers, you know, the roti canai seller, they will not give you a copy of e-invoice for this. So for this, how are we going to prove for these expenses? So I let you think of it. Then we will come back after our lunch section. Give me the answer. How are we going to prove for these expenses? So before we go for our lunch, wrap up what we have learned. We learned the new term consolidated e-invoice already, and we know the process of e-invoice. Am I right? Then we also know the timeline, 3 phases when to implement, and then the circle, the validity of e-invoice must have the QR code and the UNI number. Okay, so for this we have the new terms to learn after our lunch break, and we come back what, after 1 hour. Okay, so I see you. Thank you everyone. And before that, can we count the card and write down your result? So add up Maggie, how many? Whew, so many
9.
Okay, Maggie agree to round up for her. Then Bime?
5.
Bime got 5. Yishin? 2. Brian? 5. Jimmy? 5. Sunny?
8.
Ooh, yo, champion This one? 7. Asan? 7. Okay. Still have a long way for you to go. You return me the card and then you can go for lunch. Okay, now we see how are we going to be getting ready and preparation for our e-invoice. They are basically 3 cycles you have to taking care of, then only you can rest in peace. The middle one is rest in peace. So we have to take a look to the people. What shall we focus on the people? Then we go on to process and later go for the technical or technology issue. So people, we have internal and also external. Internal will be our staff law, employee law, and your bosses law. So we shall conduct general company-wide training on e-invoice regulation, just like today we are doing. So we are conducting this training, either in-house or externally. Internally or externally. Who got this right? Okay. And then conduct department or job function specific e-invoicing training. So this one is slightly different to number 1, because number 1 is general training. like a very basic general training. The part 2 is specific training. Specific training meaning is you will have to identify who is the person in charge, who shall be issuing the invoice. Then you have to train them specifically more in-depth knowledge. More in-depth knowledge, something like the software training. So how you handle the hands-on. Just like today, after your today, you will have another technical training. That technical hands-on for computer will be handled by the software people. Alright? Then thirdly, develop easily accessible resources and guidelines for reference. Meaning someone must be assigned to give you the updates. Because the e-invoice, let me tell you, it has been changing and changing and changing and changing many times, no stop. So there are always these new updates that you need to be updated. So you must designate one person there for you to be easily referred, or he or she must be, always to release or to update you guys what has been changes and where to get those changes. Just like our company, it will be handled by the tax department, the designated person. Lastly, designate e-invoice champion within department to act as a source of reference for colleagues. Who is the one that you trusted most? Then he has been so equipped, and he is the one for you to refer and for you to check. So this is internally. And again, I think this is very important that never hear is you will have to designate the person should be in charge of e-invoice. E-invoice is different from GST. Previously, GST implementation, most likely is the accounts department who take care of it because it involves the double entry, input tax, output tax. But this e-invoice, you could have the one who doing sales. So either the sales department will issue the e-invoice on the spot when customer requests, or go back to the accounts department who issue it. So this will be see the urgency of the job and the how convenient, who shall that be. And even we have to tackle on the sell bill. Sell bill is to record of your expenses. Is it the procurement department who do the purchases, who import, who engage the services to do the sell bill, or the accounts department? Then all these people shall be designated, and even the HR department. So when they process the claim, how do they process the claim? They must be trained and must be identified how to process the claim and whether is there any other issue need to be changed or not. This will be your circle lah. Okay, now external. External people is who? Your supplier as well as your customer. So you have to exchange the tax information with your vendor. Meaning you have to inform your supplier, vendor is your supplier, that we are coming into the e-invoice implementations already. And you will have to get their information also. Because say for example, your landlord, you need to do sell bill. Correct or not? And say for example, they are your agent commissions. So you need to get the information from them. And also the explore alternative to vendor. If the vendor, they do not want to comply, they don't want to give you anything, then you are times to allocate for alternative. Maybe it's time for you to change to others vendor already. Okay, and inquire what third-party software vendor are using. So you have to check with your vendor what software that they are doing and what software that you think you can communicate with them, which easier. Let's say they are also using SQL. We are also using SQL. And for your information, if both of us are using SQL, we don't have to key in the things again. So this is only one-time job. This is for you to think of. And also this one left out is your customer. So you may also inform your customer, your policy, when you want to request for e-invoice, it has to be within how long? Otherwise, if let's say you are doing the consolidated e-invoice, when are you going to report your consolidated? 7 days. If you have request your e-invoice after my 7 days reporting, how? I cannot accommodate to you. I cannot backdate to you because I already reported. But even if they want it now, but if the 3 days backdated is locked by my invoice portal, you can't go back earlier also. So this will be your limitation, which you need to communicate with your customer and also communicate with your vendor. Who got it right? Okay, now come to processor. Come to the processor. You will have to walk through your process. You have to walk through your process to see your cycle, conduct a throughout review of your existing process to work out when you issue your invoice currently, what is actually left out, what is actually that you need to review during e-invoice era, is there any change? Alright, and also work with department team member to redesign process as needed, because when you walk through this circle of invoice issuing circle, you find out that there are certain things that we need to add on something, add on certain features. So then you will have to work out cross department, see what to be add on, so that the system will be go smooth during e-invoice implementation. And also standardize your e-invoice protocol across business unit to the extent possible. Meaning your e-invoice issuance, you must have a new set of SOP because it's different from your SOP right now. So review existing SOP to see what need to be improved or what need to be add on. Then later come up with a standard SOP with everybody. Alright, this is reviewing of your process. Who got it right? All correct. Okay, very good, well done. Now come to technology part. Technology is your software. So verify with your software provider that our software can integrate with my invoice. Remember this morning I showed you where to check. MyTech, yes, to check your software provider, are they in this list? So are they going to apply for this MyTech approval? Because changing software is very painful and very costly. You do not want to change to this software provider, then later they cannot produce or cannot deliver. Then it's added up for your workload, then you have to redo. So this is not a good move, right? Then ask for an onboarding training section to verify an upskill employee. So meaning to say you have to engage your software provider. If you have selected them, then let's say for SQL, then we will have to arrange some SQL training on that. Then later explore alternative software option if not compatible with e-invoice. For example, your POS system, if this is not compatible, they are not in this MTech list. And you don't know when they are going to implement this. But your implementation date cannot wait anymore. Then you have to source for alternative. Sourcing for alternative is your budget. Okay, how automation you want. How you want your system to be. How you want your clients to be. Just like Mr. DIY. They separate into two cashier. One for e-invoice. One for normal POS system. The normal standard receipt. This will take a lot of your resources. And this will kill up your customer queuing time. Correct? But like Starbucks, they are using middleware that you can go back home and do it, which actually smoother and make your process faster. But compare which one is up to you. You have to check your volume or transaction, which one is easier. Okay, so I have actually gave you some answer sheet. Let me see. Okay, then these are the sample of answer. Circulate. These are the sample of answer, but you all got it right lah, huh? That you can refer is something like your process checklist. Enough? Which one? Your process checklist, that this is what you need to do. Okay? And also, this one is I have covered with you. You can go through. And also I have here share with you some letters that I'm going to show you. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4. Not enough. How many? Short one. Oh, short one, never mind. You take. Okay, these are the letters. I have 5 pages here. Take a look. This is the sample templates that I'm going to share with you. First is the notification letter. You see, this is a letter to inform your supplier and or your customer that you are going to implement the e-invoice effective 1st July 2025. Okay, we are writing to inform you about the mandatory implementation of e-invoice in Malaysia effective 1st July. And this change will affect how invoices and related documents are issued and processed. Please read the following information carefully to understand how this will impact our transaction. A. Information for local supplier. E-invoice requirement. Starting from 1st July 2025, all invoices, debit notes, credit notes, and refund notes issued to ABC, which is my company ABC, must be validated by the Inland Revenue. You agree? Then transitional period. If you have yet to implement e-invoice due to not reaching the mandatory threshold or date, you may provide standard invoice during the transitional period until your implementation date, because you cannot force. Number 3 is post-implementation. Once you have reached the mandatory implementation date, our company will only accept validated invoice, including debit, credit, and refund notes. Okay, this is what we have learned, and this is our company policy. Information for foreign supplier is e-invoice exemption. Foreign suppliers are not required to issue Malaysia e-invoice for goods and services provided to us, right? Then, but sell bill. To comply with Malaysia e-invoice requirement, our company will issue sell bill e-invoice as proof of expenses. So, please provide the following information, because you need the information from your foreigner, then only you can issue sell bill. So, these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 information that required. Then part C is information for your customer, e-invoice issuance. Effective 1st July, our company will only issue Inland Revenue validated e-invoice, right? Including debit, credit, and refund notes. So B to C transaction, if you do not request an e-invoice, we will continue to issue standard invoice, right? As per our normal practice. Then e-invoice will be issued for post-sales requests made within the same month of the sales transaction. And please retain receipt as proof of purchase for post-sales invoice request. So this one is actually your company policy. If they have applied after this period, how many days you accept? Because you know your consolidated e-invoice must be reported within 7 days. So after that 7 days, you can't do anything. And you cannot give your customer too long to think and to request for e-invoice, because you can't backdate. So this one you can alter the company policy. As for our company policy is as long as within the month. Okay. Then information required. What are the information required? Okay, then you sign. This is from your company to your customer and to your supplier. The third page is the e-invoice compulsory data requirement. This is, you can attach together and get them to fill up for you what are the information you require. Okay, that's why if you are using the middleware, you don't need to get this information and store in your computer, because sometimes they have no trust in you. Then you have my income tax. So that's why they have this middleware. If they want e-invoice, then they will process just like your Starbucks. Then you do it later at your home. And then if you miss that deadline, then you can't get your e-invoice. That's it. But sometimes for B2B, we have no choice. We have to obtain this. And one time you key into your customer maintenance or your supplier maintenance, next time when you issue will be easier and smoother. Okay, these are the standard information which cover 55 data field, but it's not all compulsory, so I only highlighted the few compulsory, which are this one. And page 4 and page 5, these are the company's policy to your staff, okay, from HR department. So they will have to issue this letter to inform everyone in the company that, first, our company is committed to ensuring a smooth transition to e-invoicing as mandated by the regulatory authorities. This policy outlines the requirement and procedure for the issuance and acceptance of e-invoice with the company effective 1st July. And issuance of e-invoice, which I covered already, mandatory implementation include debit note, credit note, and refund note, which issue from 1st July onwards must be validated by Inland Revenue. Am I right? So then P2C is standard practice. If an individual buyer does not request an e-invoice, a standard invoice can be issued as per our company current practice. So if you have this pro forma invoice receipt, go ahead, just do it. No change. Only things that you have to add on the e-invoice issuance. So if they have request, post-sales request, then you have to set a day when you can get it. After that, we don't entertain. Then consolidated e-invoice must be aggregated and reported to my invoice portal within 7 days. These are the requirements. Then the third one, acceptance of e-invoice from 1st July 2025 onwards. Once we have implemented e-invoice, our company can only accept e-invoice validated by Inland Revenue from the supplier and from the vendor. And issuance of sale bill are required under the following circumstances, which I have short-listed and highlighted, which applicable to our company, which is purchases from foreign supplier, imported services, and also acquisition of goods and services from individual taxpayer. So the validation of sale bill e-invoice by the Inland Revenue must be completed not later than the end of the month. They give you 1 month times. And the custom clearance is the earlier, the custom clearance date, and also 1 month time. So staff claim come to the HR, which is the most important. You split into 2 expenses. One is the local expenses, the other one is the foreign expenses. Under local expenses, all local expenses claim must be supported by validated e-invoice, including debit note, credit note, and refund notes. Employee must ensure that e-invoice are issued in the name of the company, or if this is not feasible, it has to be in the name of the employee. Okay, foreign expenses. As foreign vendors are not subject to Malaysia e-invoice regulation, the company will only accept original receipt bill invoices provided, and they are proven for business expenses as long as they are legitimate for business expenses. Whatever form that you have given from foreign supplier under the staff claim are acceptable. And is there any sale bill? No need. Okay, so with this, we have easily, smoothly, and implement our e-invoice already. It is not difficult, right? We just have to follow. So from now, let me wrap up what we have learned today. First, I have gone through with you the overview of e-invoice, which we are able to outline the process flow of e-invoice. Remember, first, a buyer purchase from the seller, and the seller must issue the e-invoice, go through the My Invoice portal, LHM portal, or the API. Then you generate the copy of invoice validated by Inland Revenue, then only you can send out. And then upon receiving the notice, you have 72 hours from where? From when? The 72 hours? From the date of validation by Inland Revenue, 72 hours. Then you can either cancel or reject the invoice. All right? Then if you have left the 72 hours, then you have to give new you have to accept the invoice, and then that copy will be kept in the Inland Revenue data. Any subsequent changes will be go through the debit note, credit note, and refund note. And again, one thing very important, Stanley has actually brought up for our attention is What if the customer pay extra and I don't want to refund to the customer? So shall I issue refund note? No need, because that one is not touch your P&L item. That one is your balance sheet item. And again, another issue is if I have security deposit received earlier, security deposit, and I'm going to refund to you security deposit. This one, do I require to issue refund note? No, because this one is balance sheet items. No need security receipt. We don't need to issue refund note because we are not touching the P&L. We are only touching the balance sheet. So we have also covered the mandatory timeline, which are 3 phases into 3 categories. And also, I have covered with you the documentation, debit note, credit note, invoice, how to apply them, and individually. And also cover with you some of the practical issue, for the proof of income. So when to report for the foreign income, when to issue yourself your standard e-invoice and also the consolidated e-invoice. Then the proof of expenses is 7 category. We have to issue the sale bill to prove your expenses. Then getting ready is this exercise that you have gone through. What are the things that you need to do from now on so to get ready for the implementation? All right, so with this, I have finished my presentation here, and there are some mini assessment for you. And again, you can fight for your card. Please stand up and shout your name, that you tell me that you know. First thing, what is the correct process flow of e-invoice? I have this multiple choice of question for you. You just tell me A or B or C. Before that, please stand up, shout your name, and then tell me A or B or C. Okay, now start. Okay, Jiming, yes. B. B is what? Supplier to LHDN, UIN number, QR code to buyer. So is it correct? Yes, congratulations. Okay, stand by for your question number 2. When is the compulsory implementation date for e-invoice for all taxpayers? 1, 2, 3. You didn't say your name? 1st July 2025, is that correct? Yes, because this category is for all taxpayer, including the new taxpayer, but there is exemption for 150,000 and below. Okay, question number 3. Here, which one is out of scope or e-invoice? Nothing to do with e-invoice. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, Miss Guan.
Miss Guan, A.
Yes, A. Answer. Oh, sorry. Miss Guan is A. Miss Guan always score A. Proof of unrealized gain. Yeah, this is only accounting journal. Nothing to do with your e-invoice. You don't have to issue e-invoice for this. Okay, you have another round. What is the e-invoice solution provided by Inner Revenue at no charge? Meaning Inner Revenue stand by this solution for you to use. This system is free of charge. So I have answered A or B or C or D. Who wants to answer this? Okay, Asan.
Asan, C.
C. C is what?
My invoice portal.
Correct. My invoice portal, which already in the website now, and my invoice mobile apps is soon or going to be ready. Okay, with this, I have end my section, but it's now open floor for your Q&A. Any Q&A, you want yourself one card also. Okay, I welcome for all the Q&A now. Who wants to ask anything? Okay, Junming, yes, please.
If the taxpayer he don't have e-invoice, can he still claim for tax deduction or
Okay, thank you, Jiming, for your question. So, Jiming is asking if a taxpayer wanted to claim for his personal tax relief, and now he do not have the e-invoice as a supporting for his expenses claim. So, will he be still entitled for the tax deductible expenses or tax relief for the taxpayer? Is that the questions that you're asking, Jiming?
Yes.
So, anyone want to try to answer?
Till 1st of July 2025.
Yes, you are right. Maggie is right. I give you 1 cup. Okay, because from now until 1st July 2025, they are not in full swing. The e-invoice implementation, there are some are coming later part. So they are not all. So, and the income tax allowable expenses has yet to change to must be e-invoice legitimate tax document. So you still can claim for your expenses without the e-invoice. Alright, but until further notice that one day they have changed the guide, they have changed the act or the public rulings or whatever, then it might be a changes. But as of now, you still can claim. As long as this is your legitimate expenses, not necessarily must be e-invoice from now. From now, I'm saying. So there is a budget coming soon in October. We have to wait and see if there's any changes to this. All right, second questions. Anyone want to ask any questions?
Is e-invoice applicable to transaction in Malaysia only?
Okay, thank you, Maggie, for your questions. So is e-invoice only cover Malaysia transaction or including overseas or whatever, internationally? Who wants to answer? Yeah, Miss Guan.
I think it's Malaysia only.
Malaysia only, good try, but not that correct. Applicable.
Applicable.
No, the answer is no. It cover all because you remember we have this cell bill. So our cell bill we will have to cover. Since you got it right, I give you 1 cup. So for the cell bill, we will have to cover even the imported goods and services. So in fact, not only domestic, and even on your income side, you have this proof of income for your local domestic income as well as your foreign income. So you still have to issue e-invoice for that. Okay, am I answering your question, Maggie? Yes. Anyone wants to ask any question? Yeah, Bime?
Can I issue cell bill e-invoice if my supplier do not issue e-invoice to me?
Okay, good question, Bime. So Bime is asking, if my supplier do not want to give me e-invoice, can I cell bill them or not? So first, we must ask, is your supplier in business? Is it in business or not in business? So if your supplier is in business, can you cell bill yourself? If let's say they don't want to give you, cannot. Remember, you have 7 categories. Only this 7 category you can cell bill yourself. Unless your supplier is not in business. Then this is a law, a requirement for you to bill yourself. Okay, so Bime, I answer your question? All right, any other questions?
Would like to check, is it supplier required to give their particular details to the supplier when they issue the e-invoice? Is it
Okay.
compulsory details?
Thank you, Miss Guan, for asking this question. And then Miss Guan has actually brings up this question. The supplier, is it necessary, must give us their information? Correct or not? For the supplier to give information or the customer give information?
Customer to provide the supplier.
Customer to provide the information to the supplier. Is it a must? Okay. Why is that you need to issue e-invoice? E-invoice is actually for our proof of income. For the income earner, is also proof of expenses for your side. So if you do not want to give me your information, meaning I cannot issue my e-invoice under your name, you will not get a copy of the e-invoice already, then you cannot get the tax deduction. Am I right? So for me, just that I can't issue the invoice to you. But as of now, during the 6 months soft landing period, I can consolidate because there's no request They refuse to give information, then I don't need to issue e-invoice to you. You just don't get the copy for your tax deduction. But for these 6 months, there is no problem. But then after the 6 months, after the 6 month times, then if you reluctant to give me your information, then I cannot generate e-invoice to you. Then I will have to find out a negotiation with you. Why? That's why we need these 6 months. If they insist not to give me, then probably I will have to switch to another supplier already. So that's why you have the 6 months learning period. Okay. Thank you, Miss Kwan. Am I answering your question? Thank you. Any question? Okay, Hassan.
Do business need to submit an e-invoice within the same day the transaction is being made?
Okay, good question, Hassan. Hassan has actually raised up this question. When we issue the e-invoice, must we issue at the time, meaning real time, real time? So remember the slide. So is it necessary to have real time? So Inner Revenue has actually accepted near real time. They have changed to near real time instead of real time. So that's why the near real time is reasonable times lah. And the reasonable times, they didn't define how reasonable, how near is near. But however, when you access to their portal, they allow for 3 days backdated. So meaning it's a few days lah. Within a few days is still acceptable lor. Okay, any more questions? Any more questions? Okay, Miss Kwan, yes.
Would like to check, right? Is it credit note, one credit note can issue for multiple e-invoice?
Okay, good question, Miss Kwan. Miss Kwan has actually bring up this. After we issue e-invoice, then we find out there's error or adjustment or discount need to be given. So when we issue CN, do we have to be one CN paired with one invoice? Or maybe we have one CN for multiple invoice? The answer is yes, you can have one to have multiple invoice. Not necessarily with one, because sometimes it happens like this. For a retailer, when you have bulk purchase or when you have purchased up to a certain pairs of spectacle or whatever, then you have the purchase with purchase. You have greater discount, right? You have bulk purchase discount or whatever. So then this CN that you issue to give the discount for these purchases, it may not be referring to only one single invoice. It's not pairing and matching. It could be referred to many, multiple of it. So this is allowed. Ms. Kwan, am I answering your question? Okay, so with that, I will guess no more question asked. Then I will actually end my section here with this saying, don't be afraid to give up the good, and this good will become better for your future. And also I have some reference for you that I mentioned to you, some of the code that you can have a look. Okay, before I finish, so is the present given time. All right, let us count your cards round. Okay, Maggie, how many you have?
4.
Maggie have 4. Maggie have 4. Bime? 0. Yisin? 0. Brian?
10.
Huh? Brian, how many?
10
0. Jimmy? 2. Stanley? 2. Miss Kwan? 3. Asan? 3. Okay, Asan, can you help me up to add up this few? And then can someone help me to get something from Jet Li? Yes. Okay, who is the champion of today? Maggie, yes. So we have the first is Maggie, then the second one is Stanley 12, Miss Guan 12, and Asan 12. Okay, thank you for your participation. All right, and then for the group result, which one is the champion? Stanley group is the champion. Okay, thank you. So I have a small present for you. Thank you for your time, and I hope you guys have fun today. And here, this is a very special ice cream. Here, ice cream also so happy. Ice cream mooncake. So it's for the champion group, Stanley group. Wow! Come, share with me some.
No, I bring back.
It's for your group effort. And then now, the champion for individual is Maggie. So Maggie will have the first chance to choose the mystery gift from here. Then the second one, you pick one. You pick one. Then after that, the rest will be the 12th one. Then we follow the sequence. Yeah lah. Thank you for your participation lah. So with this, I thank you everyone, and I hope you have learned something from today's section. All right.